Bottom line is when Joe Biden got elected, he said he wanted to fast track 4 million undocumented residents to full citizenship. Black people completely ignored it. I spoke on it. I said, do you know why he want to fast track 4 million? Because he know he's not going to do nothing for us. We ain't going to be motivated to vote for him November. So what he's going to do is have these migrants already set up with citizenship so they can replace the black vote that he loses. The migrants are being put in our communities on purpose, New York and Chicago on purpose, because they are what? The two blackest cities in America. They're the two largest cities in America. They're the two most politically conscious black communities in America. So if we can wash out the black with the brown in New York, if we can wash out the black with the brown in Chicago, Philly don't stand a chance. Atlanta don't stand a chance. LA, Houston, Dallas, Detroit, Chicago don't stand a chance.
Hey, my name is Devori Darkins. Welcome to my channel, Mindset Politics. And in today's video, we're going to be discussing this clip from Dr. Umar Johnson. He goes on to the Breakfast Club and he has some hot takes that he leaves them with. And one of them is almost comes off as he is supporting Donald Trump's policies. But in fact, he's not a supporter of Donald Trump, by the way. However, he has some interesting things to say, especially about the black community. So we're going to play this really quick, dive into it. Now, before we do, you already know what to do. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Play the video.
Philly don't stand a chance. Atlanta don't stand a chance. LA, Houston, Dallas, Detroit, Chicago don't stand a chance. The migrants are here for 3 reasons. Replace us at the polls, replace us at the low-end industry jobs, right? See, when Donald Trump said during the debate that Joe Biden is taking black jobs and giving them to migrants, he was correct. Although he didn't say it because he cared about us, but he's right. When people say, what do you mean by black jobs? Get out your bougie feelings and deal with the reality. 1/3 of black.
Yeah, exactly. So the problem with politics, actually the issue in life, right? This is, okay, let's go back to mindset now. If you're using your emotions, right? If you're triggered by something and you're not able to critically think about something, chances are you can't even see the actual fact of the matter, right? So the fact of the matter is the border for the last 3 years, right? Last 4 years, more people have crossed the border than any time in history. This is a fact. You can go look it up yourself and look at the numbers. It's pretty staggering. What's also a fact, and I live in California, so I know this to be true. I have a home improvement business, so I know this to be true. These labor-intensive jobs, most of the migrants are going to take those jobs. There's no question about it. Things are going to get really competitive because you now have more people in the community. Right now, that doesn't mean black people can't get jobs, and that's where I disagree with him on. That doesn't mean black people can't be successful because, again, it comes down to your mindset. And so if you're that person that's, using the immigration as an excuse on why you can't be successful, I mean, you're going to be in trouble already. But I digress. The issue is true, though. The fact is true. More migrants are coming over the border, which causes more competition for those labor-intensive jobs that do not require a license or a degree, probably don't even require an ID, really, right? Those types of jobs the migrants are going to be doing. Let's dive into this a little bit more.
Men have a felony. So there's a lot of jobs they will never qualify for. They are mostly what? Essential workers, warehouse, trucking, security. And a lot of those jobs are going to who? The migrants. So that's what he meant by black jobs. We got to stop being so sensitive and look at the reality of it. I was reading a report the other day.
Listen, even if what he is saying is not true, that the migrants are taking black jobs, let's say that's not even true at all. Okay, you know what they are doing? They're getting financial benefits from day one of being into this country. So once they get into the country and they apply for these benefits for the migrants, they're getting paid money. Where is that money actually coming from, right? Where could that money be going instead? So, I mean, there's so many other issues. That doesn't mean we shouldn't let people come into our country. It just means that you can't just open the door, let everybody flood in, and then try to figure out what we're going to do after the fact. That doesn't really work.
He said the Latinos taking over the construction jobs. They taking them over. And the low industry work, like your gardening, your landscaping, completely taking it over. They're not the enemy. The problem is black people don't get as much opportunity. So then people say, well, white people don't really like.
No, black people have all the opportunity. They just don't take advantage. And that's not all black people. There's plenty of successful, happy, professional black people in this world, in this country. There's no question about that. This is the part where I just can't stand hearing other black people speak like this, as if there is this system and these people that are in this room and they are wanting to do everything they can to hold black people back. It just is not true whatsoever. The only person that will hold you back is what? Yourself, your mindset. And there is a part of the black community where the mindset is based on victimhood, right? Based on oppression, thinking from a place of fear, scarcity, and lack. And that's why it's not working for them, because their mindset isn't there. So that part I disagree with him on for sure. No one's taking away an opportunity from you except yourself.
Brown people like that. That's true. But you know what the difference is? They don't have the burden of accountability with them that they have with us. We built the country. So every time they look at us or deal with us, the bottom line is y'all brought them here and they built y'all into what y'all are. They don't have to say that to the Venezuelans. They don't have to say that to the Colombians. They don't have to say that to the Mexicans. So although they don't like brown, they will much rather deal with them than the black, because with the black, there is a white man's burden that you owe them restitution for 246 years of unpaid labor. Now let's look at what Eric Adams.
Again, living in the past. I mean, that type of whole reparations rhetoric is so exhausting, because it violates a principle. When you're talking about growth, you're talking about your purpose in life, you're talking about having a strong mindset for success, is living in the past, blaming other people, holding on to things. And that's exactly what this whole narrative is when it comes to Black Lives Matter and this whole we should get paid for what happened to our ancestors and et cetera, et cetera. It really is sad. Most people are spending too much time thinking about the past, blaming the government or other people because of the color of their skin about the past, when really they should be spending that time focusing on their purpose in life, helping other people, serving other people, doing God's work. That is absolutely much more important, much more serious than some reparation that someone owes me money because this is what happened to my ancestor back in, 50, 60, 70 years ago. Like, I don't care about that. I care about doing God's work right now and in the future. So it just gets so exhausting when they speak this way.
This is doing over there in New York. A family of four is getting $1,400 a month. $1,400 a month. Do you know that that's more than what some of the veterans are getting with a child? They're getting more money than veterans who served in the military. Damn. Not only that, they're getting free food stamps, free child care, and permanent housing. Although New York City has a black homelessness rate no less than 35%.
Now, again, like I said, there are people that you don't agree with, but they can say things that you do agree with, right? Doesn't mean I support his message. I definitely agree with that. There's no question. I mean, I see that in California without migrants, just homeless people. Homeless people make more than veterans. I mean, just to get a disability rating from the veteran, from the VA is like pulling teeth. I know this because I'm a veteran. Okay. And the hoops they make you jump through, the paperwork you have to submit, how long you have to wait, and all this other stuff. It's like it's like pulling teeth. It really is that crazy. But if I was homeless, all I have to do is show up to one of these buildings and let them know that I'm homeless and I don't have nowhere to stay. And they're going to start paying me out, especially with the food stamps. That's as simple as it gets. It's pretty advanced today. But yeah, so I agree with him on that for sure.
You got black people who pay taxes living on the street, and you got migrants who ain't paid a single tax in their life, eating and living better than the black people who built the country. If I was talking to...
Well, yeah, black people built the country. I mean, I don't believe that. I believe everybody built the country, okay? And here's the other thing about history. None of us really know 100% with certainty what actually happened, right? We have a limited amount of history of our country, right, that is recorded and can be fact-checked, but there's a part of our history that cannot be. It's just really up to interpretation. Anyways, I digress on that. I really have to say this because think about this from a mindset point of view, okay? who are you in this life first? Are you a black person first? Are you an Asian person first? Are you a Hispanic first? Are you a white person first? What are you first? Exactly. Let me help you. You are God's child first, right? Made in the image of him. I don't care if you're Catholic, you're Christian, you don't believe in religion. That's what I believe. I really do believe that. So that's level number one, right? And then after that, what are you next? Well, you're the citizen of a country that you belong to. So whether you are from Mexico or you're from Africa or you're from, Europe, right? Like France, or you're from America or Canada. That's what you are second, right? So in this country, you're an American, right? You're God's child. You're an American, right? And then anything else after that is really par for the course, meaning, well, I'm an American citizen. I am black. I'm from the South. Like all that after the American stuff is irrelevant, in my opinion. That's my personal opinion, because we live in a time where those labels have turned into toxicity, okay? And everything is now race-based. And when everything is race-based, that means we are now putting someone's skin color above God. We are putting someone's skin color above our Constitution, right? Our country. And that's what is going wrong with this country. It's been happening for so long, and now we're seeing it because of technology. We see everything every day, 1,000 different ways. You don't go to another country and hear someone say, hey, that is a black American. That is a brown American, Hispanic American. No one's going to say that. You know what they're going to say? You are an American. That is an American over there. American. That's exactly what they're going to say. It's only in America that we have all these freaking labels based on your skin color. It's just crazy. Just crazy.
What is the Democratic Party giving you guys that you're willing to sacrifice your political future to push this migrant agenda? Because I don't see how they get reelected by black folks. I don't see how. And if your city goes to the migrants,
they will. Because most black folks are not exercising their critical thinking skills when talking policies or politics. Now, inside their own home, most black Americans, believe it or not, are conservative, right? The way they parent, the decisions they make about their children, very conservative. But as soon as they step outside the house and they're looking at other communities and they're looking at policies and they're watching the news, it's all liberal stuff. And it's just the irony, actually. They will get voted in again because black people have yet to prove that we can think for ourselves as a community and truly show our government officials that we're not going to stand for the gaslighting. We're not going to stand for the empty promises. That hasn't happened yet. That hasn't happened yet.
You can best believe the migrants ain't electing no black person to mayorship. So you're literally dying on your sword for the Democratic Party. Do you know that New York City has spent $1.5 billion on the migrant crisis so far? It's projected that this year, 2023 was $1.5 billion to take care of the migrants. $1.5 billion. 2024 and 2025, they said it will cost New York City $9 billion.
Right there, I agree with him. And this is the part of policies or politics that people need to be informed about. Because when people disregard politics, they think, oh, it's just all this arguing going back and forth. No, this is very important to really understand. When you keep thinking the government needs to be used to save other people, it will cost money. And if you are from a community or, in your own, neighborhood, whatever it might be, you need to think twice about who you're voting for and what they stand for. If they stand for policies that are based on, we're going to go out here and create more government programs and help more people, that doesn't work, because if it did, we wouldn't have a homeless issue. Okay. If it did, we wouldn't have a drug problem in this country, right? If throwing money at the problem was the solution, the results would show that.
Chicago has spent about $350 million this year on the migrant crisis, and that's expected to quadruple. And you know what was so disrespectful about Chicago with regard to Brandon Johnson? Remember all them schools they shut down in Chicago because they said they couldn't afford to operate them? Mm-hmm. They opened them up. Not only did they open them up, they renovated them. They renovated them, turned them into apartments for migrants, so you sleep upstairs, go to school downstairs. How is it that you ain't got money for jobs for black people, which is a big reason why you got so much crime? You got all these homeless black people in Chicago, but you can take care of the migrants before you take care of black people?
Listen, I'm not out there trying to, speak about everything that is wrong with the black community. I will say this, though. The only person that black people in particular have to blame for why they're not seeing the progress they want in their own community is themselves, right? Like, think about it. It's insanity. We want our community to progress. We want to be equal. We want to get rid of systematic racism, but you keep voting the same. You've yet to see in your own way, what if we just did the opposite of what we've been doing? What would happen then, right? What would happen then if we just did the opposite? Oh, if the community could really think as one, as we see in other communities, black people would just quantum leap. But that's my mindset on this. What is your mindset? What do you think about what Dr. Umar Johnson said? Even though I'm not a supporter of him whatsoever, but he did make some good points in here that I do agree with. Do you agree with them? Let us know all of this and more in the comment section below. And thank you for checking out this video today. We will see you in the next one.